Let's begin. So this fluid substance, breath, will connect to our breath. And in so doing, may it help us connect to our fluid self. Start to breathe a little bit more expansively so as to explore the volume of the body, interior volume within the envelope of the skin. And breathing all the way into the abdomen and the pelvis. So for our practice today, breathing in a way that delights, that brightens. We'll do a series of breath holds. We'll go in 10, hold 10, out 10, and then we'll hold Uddiyana 10. I don't expect that the framework of 10 counts needs to be reached, but it's a 1-to-1 to 1-to-1 ratio Uddiyana. So with the feet active, we'll start on empty, inhaling 10. And softly holding that in under the chest bones, the abdominal wall, 10. Ten count exhale. Ten count Uddiyana. So I've brought my hands forward, and from here I'll draw belly in. We'll do another round. So just whenever you complete that loop, if you will, we'll begin again. Letting each breath, this breath of life, impart its brilliance, its prana, conferring that life force right into our our cells, our sense of bodily space. And we're working 10, 10, 10, 10. So inhaling 10, holding 10, exhaling 10, Uddiyana 10. And before we do our last round, let's switch the cross of our legs. All right, we'll do one final round. Again, 10 in, 10 hold, 10 out, 10 hold, and that last hold's in Uddiyana. And this may be the inquiry that we're performing throughout our practice is, how is it that that connection to breath brings a brilliance and a brightening into our person? So it's an active, it's a form of active, but it's a perceptual, and that we're actively searching for where we derive that. How do I soften to feel that? How is it I experience that brightening and that brilliance and that wonder in my body, you and yours? And being very specific to derive it from the breath. To feel that resonance or that imparting of it into the cells. And we'll resume Ujjayi breath. We're going to set the right leg out and set the legs widely, strongly straightening the right. We're using that wide set position of the legs to gain some bit of access to the groin. So we'll start with the right arm. Inhale, raise the right arm away from the right sit bone. So as I'm reaching the arm up, I'm also reaching that right sit bone down. Exhaling. Right ribs lengthen over that right leg. Just set that hand down. Inhale, draw that left arm up. Exhaling into side bend, reaching the left arm overhead. So here we're lengthening through both sides of the ribs, so we're not collapsing in the right. Maybe that requires some form of active pressing with the legs into the earth. As we lengthen through the ribs and through the trunk, allows us to actually spiral the chest open a little bit more. And had we been just collapsing in the right ribs? And inhale, and take that hands to the ground, pressing up. And we'll switch sides, just that side bend, one on each side. So we sit the left legs out widely. And the wideness of the thighs so that we start to get into the groin a little bit. And then inhaling, raise the left arm with the intent of lengthening, feeling that left side, the sit bone sinking down, and then exhale to lengthen the left side ribs forward. And those may be very different, especially if the pelvis is a little bit shifted one way or the other. Inhaling the right arm up, exhaling and lengthening through each side of the ribs. Side bend. So feel for the breath in that left side. Even though that's not the stretch side, it will help us, have receipt of our opening up and lengthening through that left side. Now once more, letting breath open up all that tissue in the waist, around the hip, between the ribs. As the chest, the rib cage continues to spiral, wrapping the shoulder will give you that little extra lat stretch, that muscle stretch down that right side back. And inhaling. Take the hands to the ground to press up. When we lie back today, we're going to work straddle lifting through. For some individuals, to start with the legs straddled may feel a little bit much on the back or the hips. So if you need to start with legs bent in frog, please know that could be a nice alternate starting option. So spine to ground, and then legs separated widely. With the hands supporting the head, inhale into the low back, the low ribs. As the breath descends and spreads backward, elevate head. Exhaling, rest the head and the hands, reach the legs away from the pelvis. So we're drawing the belly down, the tailbone shifts away from the brain. And we'll repeat. Inhale. And exhaling, resting the head and the hands, reaching through the legs. We're making a concerted effort to decouple the effort of the legs from any efforts that we're applying in the neck or the face. Draw the low belly down. We're trying to farm the energy from the pelvis without just introducing it or managing it with the neck. Exhaling, vibrant leg outreach, and the sense, task if you will, is to feel any degree of openness, fluidity of movement around the pelvis. Draw the low belly down. Inhaling. Let's do 5 more. As we're producing that effort through the legs, release and relax the weight of the head into the hands. This is also preparing us for when we're in stances and relaxing the neck. It's being able to exert, to play with a lot of physical energy, but without straining those information pathways. And that'll be the only one we're working today. So when you're complete, we'll help legs together and set the feet down. Let's set up for a turbo dog. So we'll move on to our hands and knees. And if you need a little more ease through the shoulder and the chest area, remembering that we could elevate the hands and that puts less weight through the wrists and the shoulders. So I'm turning the arm bone in the socket. So not only is the bicep turning to face forward, whatever's ahead of me, I'm also feeling the movement of those arm bones away from my neck. And exhaling the knees off the ground. So here the elbows are bent. So option 1 is taking a rest. If you need, rejoining. Option 2 is staying in turbo dog, raising the right leg. And then reaching through that leg so verily. There's even more lightness between the ribs. And switching sides, so we bring that right foot down, left foot up. And the elbows are directly under the shoulders, so that may be it's a continual reminder piece of kind of rotating, turning those arm bones. We'll set the left leg down, we'll set the knees down, exiting. And then inhaling, we'll slide the arms under the hands rather, under the shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. It generally does feel or seem easier to manage our body weight and the experience by flaring the elbows out. However, when we do that, we generally kind of push our shoulder structure closer to the neck. And so one of the things we're attempting to do, though it feels harder sometimes, is move the shoulders away from the neck, unimpede all of that nerve and blood flow through the neck. So wrapping the shoulders may feel harder, but it's so your brain can breathe. Inhale, step the right foot forward, warrior one. Spreading the hand bones, exhaling, shifting the tailbone down. So it feels that tailbone moves directly down away from the head. There's a little butt activity associated with that. And then we can start to press that back of left without crowding or collapsing in the low back. And then breathing in a way that's scintillating, that confers a brilliance into the body. That's an intentional move. All these little internal moves are intentional. How do I move my mind? How do I change the shape of my breath, my mind, the field of my feeling awareness? Twisting, let's go easy, twisting warrior. Exhaling, we'll go left hand to the ground, right arm up. Press through that left shoulder and arm until you feel that left shoulder growing more spacious. Now breathe into those left ribs. The left lung, left ribs, feel that they expand and they move behind that left shoulder blade. So left arm presses strongly, breath spreads the ribs behind that shoulder blade. That's it, that's it, that's it. Good. And then exhaling as that right arm reaches and lifts. A further broadening. There you go. That's it. There we go. Inhale, we'll bring the right hand down, the left knee down. Now we'll work that twisting lunge. Exhaling the left arm over that right thigh. Release. Inhale, unwind. Exhaling. Chaturanga, we step that right foot back. And even as I'm lifting my hamstrings, the backs of my knees toward the sky, lower down. So there's some active legs going on in the lowering. Cobra, inhale into the abdomen. Exhaling, lower downward dog. And take that warrior one on that other side. Inhale the left foot forward. Shifting the tailbone away from the brain. So just have that, the tailbone and the skull bones is just a continual way to orient and organize around our core, this central area of most vital information pertaining to our organismic self. With that tailbone reaching down away from the skull bones and the skull bones ascending, lifting away from the tail. Start to send that back of right thigh into that space behind us. Spreading open the hands. Wrapping the shoulders to clear and open up that neck area. And then deepening breath, so it's that brilliant life conferring way of breathing. Easy twisting warrior. Inhale the right hand down. And exhaling, press through that right shoulder, right arm. Lift through the left. Relaxing the neck. And press so barely through that right arm. That shoulder blade glides to the side of the ribs. And breathe well into the right side ribs. Feel those mid and those upper ribs. They move, they expand. Freeing them up behind that shoulder blade. Once those ribs start to move, I bet there's a little bit more turn or motion in the upper ribs, the upper chest. There you go, there you go, there you go. So it's strain free. The breathing frees us up. Inhaling, we'll bring that left hand down. We'll set the right knee down for twisting lunge. Exhaling, the right elbow, the right arm over the left thigh. Ventilating, washing those tissues with this movement, this breath, this fluid mind. So as we keep tracking with the breath in our body, the movement of our mind it grows more fluid, continuously fluid. And releasing, inhale, we'll unwind. Exhaling, chaturanga. So from playing, pressing the 4 feet down, the hammies, the backs of the knees, lifting toward the sky as we lower. And hopefully that makes it a little lighter. Inhale, cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. So without bending the elbows in downward dog, broaden the upper arm bones, away from the neck, away from each other, without bending the elbows. Right, lunge. Inhale, stepping right foot forward. The left knee, the left heel up. And again, shifting the tailbone down, letting the neck and the head float, lift away from the tail. So not only are we organizing around this core, this sense of centrality, but also lengthening and lightening, as those seem to be pertinently correspondent to sensing a fluid body. Pyramid. Inhaling, I'm bringing my hands down, straightening the legs, and making a little step forward, holding forward. I'm brightening up the back side of the heart, the sides of the lungs. I'm going to shift into vertical splits. So inhale, move the hands forward. Blocks or no blocks, raise the left leg. And to whatever degree you are able to raise left leg, engage, open up that back of knee, reach back through the leg, the foot. The hands down on ground, wrap shoulders like the elbows might hug that right calf. And inhale, set that left foot down. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. You sure could choose cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, lunge. Inhale, left foot forward. This is knee up, heel up lunge. So the tailbone first, and then we can work with the legs around that that central organization. The tailbone sinks down. I give it a direction, and therefore the skull bones have a direction. Then I can bend that left knee. Then I can engage that back leg. Pyramid. Inhaling, straightening, stepping to shorten that stance. Exhaling, fold. And keep working with that back leg. And pressing the back of the thigh into that space behind us, so as to draw that heel toward the earth. All right, vertical split, so shift the hands forward. Inhale, elevate the right leg. Now, again, this is just the same energetic practice we've done earlier, which is full engagement through the legs, kind of harvesting the energy of the legs, but keeping the neck relaxed, letting that energy start to pour through the rest of our cells, our core. That softness that we experience in our core correlates very highly with energy moving. This is replenishment, this is nourishment, this is rejuvenation, this is circulation. So let's give it 2 deep breaths more, engaging the legs and decoupling that effort from any exerted through the head and the neck. Releasing, releasing. Maybe we reach a little further, brightening up that leg. Breathing that brightness right up and through the core. Inhaling, we'll set that foot down. Exhaling, stepping all the feet back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. Without bending the arms, the elbows, broaden the arms away from one another, away from the base of your neck. All right, here we go. Inhale the right foot forward. Pad the left knee, and we're moving into the degree of splits that you want to explore at this time. So that can be as simple as leaving the weight situated back over left knee. That could also be sliding the right heel somewhat forward, very much forward. So the degree of splits that is interesting to you. And then bearing the breath down into the pelvis, the pelvic floor. Inhaling, we'll walk that right leg back. Now at this point, we're going to work either just a half of a scissor, or we can call it half of a turn signal. So the half would be because I'm resting all of my weight still in the left leg. It's a little easier on the wrist, the shoulder. Other option is turn signal. So the half part is just if I load that right leg onto the right arm and just practice walking that right leg forward until it lifts right off the ground. That would be the half. If I wanted the other half, to get a different crouch. So I crouch my left arm with that left shin and my right arm with my right thigh. So if the profile view works, to see which one you'll want to do, I can turn and show again. We're working just the right side, either half turn signal or turn signal. So if I just want to work with the right leg straightening and flying, I can just leave my weight down on my left knee. Tuck the right arm under. My right foot walks forward. With those shoulders drawn down. I start to push. I push my hamstring down and press the ball of my right foot forward. So my ham pushes down, my ball of foot presses forward. There you go, there you go. There it is, that's it. That's it. And I'm just repeating myself. If I wanted to do the turn signal, I would load up my left leg into the crow shape. And all the exact same stuff with the right leg. Give you just one more moment, a little more freestyle. There you go. Yes, exactly, yes. Good. All right, so we'll set the parts down. Chaturanga. Inhaling, we'll recoup our hands under shoulders. Stepping the feet back, exhaling, inhaling, upward dog, exhaling, downward dog. Well, inhale the left foot forward. As long as I'm not forgetting anything, we're going directly into a splits version that we'll like. True. All right. So I've started with my right knee down. It can be nomads. Could also send this left leg forward somewhat. So it's the degree of fold or splits that you'll work well with. What's working well? Where I can still access that sense of brightness, that I'm doing this not in a strain way or an exhaustive way, but in a way that contributes to that remembering just how vital and brilliant and scintillating this being alive in a body stuff is. And here we go. Inhaling this left leg, drawing it back. And we prepare the version of turn signal that will work today. So half, just a little lighter on the hands and the shoulders. I leave my right knee down. And I just practice kind of mounting this left leg on the arm, walking it out. And I find the best way to get that left leg to float up is to push the back of my leg down and press my forefoot forward. There you go. The other part of this would be to get that right leg to crouch into crow. And when we step out, inhaling, we'll reset the hands under our shoulders. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. And exhaling, downward dog. When we set our knees down, we'll take a seat on ground. We'll separate legs widely. They're getting warmer now. We can go wide, wide. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side. We're working our arms in eagle. Exhale the left over the right. Inhaling, we'll unwind the arms. Before we do the other side, if you want to snuggle into just a little bit more of that straddle seat, just snuggle in. And then the other side, exhale to right over the left. Inhaling, unwind, arms. And then use your hands to help the legs together, and we'll lie back. Yeah, we'll take a Shavasana. How about that? Shavasana. If you want to rest with your legs up, it'll just encourage the fluids, the circulation to move, from the legs back to those lungs. Lungs are those main processing centers. Our insides become outside, our outsides become insides. And let's once more kind of get a sense of the core. This is a breath move. It's not an accidental move because we can intentionally breathe in and on and through our core. So we can select exactly where to show up, to feel, to see, to know. And as you're breathing in and on and through this core, bring that brilliance, that scintillating, almost electric quality. Bring it into that, through remembrance, right up and through the body, the cells, the core, the spine. So luminescing this core, when we were very, very tiny, this structure we now call the central organizing unit. We've been organizing around this central core, vital core, since the moment we became. We became any kind of form. And some practitioners even say that we were this wisp of a energetic core before any cells or structure formed there. We were the energetic blueprint of a core, and then the structure of core started to lay into that. So that we can breathe into our own blueprint that informs our cells is spectacular. When you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side. And press to seated. It's great to share the day with you like this. Namaste.